I finally made it to Ipiales, which is a small Colombian city next to the Ecuadorian border. I have been coming to Colombia since 2013, but I always seem to get stuck in Medellin, as I really like that city. Now, other than being a convenient city to stop at if you're either heading to Ecuador or if you're in Ecuador heading to Colombia, there really isn't much to do. The main attraction in Ipiales is Iglesia Las Lajas. This church is built inside the canyon of Guitara River. Now, the name Laja is a type of sedimentary rock similar to shale. Anyways, the story of the church and how it was created is interesting. Apparently in 1754, Maria Meneses de Quinones and her daughter Rosa, who was both deaf and mute, were caught in a very strong storm. Then the two found shelter between two large lajas. And while they were there waiting out the storm, Rosa saw an illumination of the Virgin Mary. And I guess over time, word spread of this sighting, and people started to visit the location or the area. Eventually, a shrine was built there. And this eventually led to a larger shrine, which over time led to the church that is there today. Now, the actual church sits on a bridge that is about 130 feet tall, and the views from this church are amazing. I guess there are also a lot of other legends and mysteries attached to this church, but I think most people just go to the church for the spectacular views. Now, if you go to Ipiales, be prepared for the weather. When I got there, I did not expect it to be so cold. In the early mornings and at night, you see people wearing large jackets or even wearing blankets like their jackets to keep warm. They'll just have multiple blankets wrapped around them. The days are actually pretty pleasant though. All you'll really need is a light jacket, and if the sun is shining, you probably won't even need that. I cannot really find much to do in the town other than go to the church or view areas where you could actually see the beautiful landscape of the country. I believe Ipiales is a city that is used just for people doing a lot of trade between Colombia and Ecuador. Other than that, doesn't seem to be much to do. Overall, the church is amazing, but if you're not crossing the Colombian-Ecuadorian border, it may be hard to justify going to Ipiales. I really liked my short visit, but I was headed to Ecuador anyways, so it only made sense to stop a couple days and check out Ipiales. Oh, and just because it's a small town, don't think that they are unorganized, at least as far as the immigration goes. Maybe because it's a border town, but in my case, when I was at the hotel, an immigration officer came to my room and asked to see my passport. I guess when you check in, they email a copy of your passport to the immigration. Anyways, the officer thought I had overstayed my tourist permit. I guess they didn't have on record that I got a stamp in Bogota. Anyways, after a few phone calls, the immigration officer determined that I still had 5 days left on my permit. And he shook my hand, and that was pretty much it. But I still had the same problem at the immigration office when I was leaving the country. Apparently, for some reason, in their system, it just didn't update that I had left the country and re-entered through Bogota nearly 3 months ago, so they had that I significantly overstayed my time allotment, but apparently everything has been worked out now. So actually crossing the border from Colombia to Ecuador is very easy. Basically, you just get a stamp, an exit stamp at the Colombian immigration office. When you leave, you walk about a block or two to the Ecuadorian immigration office. The lady I spoke to was very friendly, very helpful. Then I got my stamp there, and just like that, I was in Ecuador. Anyways, you guys take care. Have a great day.